Hello my beautiful gorgeous babes out there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in today. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new Juvia's Place mini palettes. They come out with a Nubian Glow and a Nubian Royal palette. I also picked up one of their new lip balms, so if you're interested in seeing some swatches, see my overall thoughts on the products as well as Juvia's Place, then keep on watching. Alright my beauties, I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm so excited that these finally came in the mail. I'm such a huge fan of Juvia's Place. They're one of my favorite brands and I love their eyeshadow formula. I think it's one of the best formulas out there, and they are a very affordable brand, and they are also available in Ulta, so I think that's amazing. That definitely means this brand is growing and getting really big, and I definitely think they are worth the hype in every way possible. I believe they're an indie brand, and they're also a black owned makeup brand, which is amazing. I love supporting black owned businesses. But before I get into all the products and everything, if you're new here and you like fashion, makeup, palette reviews, then hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. I do try to post at least 2 to 3 times a week. I'm working on being more consistent. But anyways, let's get into these beautiful products. So the palettes both retail for $15 each, and they did also have an option to do gift sets where it included lip balms. So the Nubian Royal gift set, I'll put a little picture of what it included, but it had 2 of these lip balms in it in different shades, and then they had the Nubian Glow gift set, and that included 2 lip balms that were like in the squeezy tubes. I haven't seen that on their site yet as to be like purchased individually. I'm hoping that they're going to post that eventually, but I want to try those out as well. But that's what's included in those 2 gift sets, and they're both $26 each if you do that. The lip balm that they have is $12 individually, and they do have a bundle option, which I think is $45 if you want like all the shades. They had like 5 or 6 shades in these balms. Let me start showing you guys each palette and some swatches. So here is the Nubian Glow palette. It's a nice warm toned yellowy goldy palette. Oh, it's so pretty. I love this so much. So this is a pressed glitter. I know not everybody likes pressed glitters, but I love them. I'm comfortable with glitters. They're not considered eye safe, so use at your own risk. The other shades here and here are regular metallics, shimmers, and then these are 2 mattes right here. I did swatch it out on my hand here just to make this video quick, but see the glitter, like there's a tacky base to it, so it adheres really easily to the skin. I feel like you could almost use that without a glitter primer, but just very beautiful shades. And all the gold shades in here all have like a different shift to them. Like this is more of a white gold, this one has like a more traditional gold, this one has like a green reflect to it, like green shimmers in it. So I love that they made them all like different. You can definitely tell they're all different on the hands. And then here is the Nubian Royal palette, which a purple girl's dream. So gorgeous. So this also has the pressed glitter in here, but this one has like multicolor holographic shimmers in it. Very beautiful. And then this one has this one's more like a satin more than a metallic, and then this is your traditional metallic, and then this one has 3 mattes in it instead of just 2 like the Glow palette. So this one offers more mattes. So if you like more mattes in your palettes, then you might like this one even better. But I'll show you guys the swatches of it. Look at that. That's so beautiful. There's kind of like a shift to that one. Here's that more satiny shade, the 3 mattes, and then that shimmer. Do you see it? There's like little colorful shimmers in here, and look how well it adheres to the skin. Oh, I love it a lot. I definitely think these pressed glitters are really nicely formulated, and it looks like they could just stick so well on the eyes without a tacky base. Now I did use a tacky base in my eye looks that I did. Just wanted to make sure that there was no glitter fallout, but like I said, use pressed glitters at your own risk. Alright, before we get into the looks, I wanted to show you the Nubian Royal palette next to the Violets palette, because they did have another mini palette that was purple leaning, just in case you guys were wondering if any shades dupe each other, and I really don't think so at all. Like, they're just very different tones in both. Now, of course, this one, the Royal one, has a glitter in it. This one doesn't. Then the two like lighter mattes are different. This one is lighter and more pink to it. Then they have this more magenta color. These darker ones are very different tones. This one has a super dark matte and a super light like metallic shade, so they're just very different. Now I think that they would complement each other really well, and you could create some beautiful looks with the two palettes together, but I don't think any shade in either one is duping one another. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that in case you were wondering about these two palettes and how they compare. But anyways, let's get into the looks and then we'll wrap this video up. Okay, so let's start this look. First, I'm going to put on the lip balm in Mango to just get some moisture on my lips here. These things smell so good. This doesn't really have any kind of tint to it. Goes on pretty clear for the most part, so use that as my hydrating balm. And now I'm going to go in with the Nubian Glow palette. I put on some matching earrings to go with the look, and I'm going to start with this shade right here. I don't think any of these ever have shade names on them, but I'm going to go in with the darkest shade first, and we'll see how it is. I'm going to start in the outer corner and kind of drag it up into the crease and see how that goes. It looks really nice. I like that. I don't know, for some reason it makes me think of mac and cheese, but hey, your girl is probably just hungry. But I'm liking how that's going on. It's just a nice, like a, what would you say? It's like a burnt orange. It's not like a super bright orange. It's more on the muted, grungier side of things. I'm just going to work that on the outer part and just drag it up into the crease. Alright, I think that looks really good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this yellow shade right here, and I'm going to use that to work on the edge of my crease, just to kind of make sure everything looks blended. It's like this nice mustardy yellow shade. I did clean off the brush first, and I'm just going to use that on the edges, and I definitely want that color to show as well. So I'm just going to use it on the edge. I think I'm going to switch my brush because I want it to be more pronounced on the edges here, because I definitely want that yellow shade to show. So I just switched to a more dense, small brush. Okay, let me do this. Hopefully you guys aren't hearing too much in the background. My boyfriend's office is right across from mine, and he's on a conference call. So I hope you guys don't hear that. But I just want this to blend out the edges, but definitely show. Like, you still see like the yellow on the edge. Alright, so I'm pretty much going to do the same thing on the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with the orange first, and then use the yellow to blend that out. And then we'll figure out the shimmers on the eyes. But we'll do this first. Alright, that went on really nicely. Now I'm going to take the yellow shade with this brush here and just buff the edges. Make sure everything looks blended. Alright, so now I want to lay some shimmers on my eyes, and first I'm going to go in with some glitter primer, my usual NYX glitter primer, and put that all over the lid because that's just what I like to do, and I try to keep these looks all consistent when I try different palettes. I try not to switch anything up just so we can stay consistent. Okay, so I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to take this shade right here. I'm going to start with this one, and I wish I knew what these shades were called. I wish they had shade names to them, but I'm going to use that on the part closest to the matte. Wow, that's pretty. That is gorgeous. Just a nice bright gold. Okay, I think that looks good so far. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is a lot more green to it. It has just like a green shift to it. It's so pretty. And I'm going to use that in the inner part. This is definitely like a duochrome. Alright guys, do you guys see that green shift? You can definitely tell how much greener this gold is than this gold shade here in the outer part. I think it's so pretty. I like that they did kind of a twist to this gold in here. Oh, I love shades like this. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this shade in the inner corner. I did wet my brush so I could get maximum shine from this shadow. And we're going to put that in there. That's beautiful. I like how these gold shades in here all have like a different shift to them, just something different about each of them. None of them look exactly the same, and I love that. Okay, that made a beautiful inner corner highlight. Now I'm going to go in with the pressed glitter in the palette and just use that right in the center of my lid. I did lay down a little bit of glitter primer down just to make sure it sticks really well to the lid. I don't feel like you need one necessarily with this formula that they have in the palette, but I just did that to be safe. Of course, glitters on the eyes aren't considered eye safe, but I feel very comfortable using pressed glitters. But if you don't, then don't use it on the eyes. You know, got to do what you feel comfortable with. So now I'm going to lay that right in the center and just get a little pizzazz here. And the shimmers in here are really small and just like these nice little micro glitters, and I think it's really pretty. If you guys can even see the glitter on my lid because they're so teeny little glitter particles. But I really like it. I can see it in person. I just don't know if it's translating on camera. So what I'm going to do now is take this little fluffy brush and I'm going to go in with the orange again just to work on the edges to make sure that there is a nice little transition between the shimmer and the matte. I don't want any harsh lines. Alright, I think that looks beautiful. So now I'm going to go in with the usual liner, mascara, and something in the waterline and figure out something for my lip, and I will be right back. Okay, so here is the completed look. I think it looks beautiful. I love this palette a lot. It's just a nice little mini warm tone palette. But to complete this look, I went in with one of Juvia's Place's lipsticks, and this is the shade Toffee. It's just a nice warm toasty brown. I thought it would pull the look together. I did also use a lip liner from Ace Beauty in Be Peachy. I just got this in a BoxyCharm. And then for my waterline, I went in with this yellow shade. This is one of the Shockwave eyeliners from LA Girl, and the shade is Screaming, and I think it just tied the look together to have a little pop of yellow in the waterline. And that was it. That was everything for this look. I think it's beautiful. So now I'm going to let you guys go and see the second look. Okay, so now it's time for look number 2. Hopefully I will still have some natural light to last through this look. I literally just took off the first look, threw on different earrings, and now we're getting into the Nubian Royal palette. I am going to start with the darkest shade in the palette right here and work that on the other corner here. It was so hard to get that other look off, like the shimmers, the glitter did not want to come off. So if you see glitter on my face, it's there, okay? Anyways, this is super pigmented. Wow. I think that's a good start for now, and we'll work on that. So I'm going to now take the shade right here, and I'm going to use that all in the crease and to blend the edge of this purple. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to clean it off with my color switch. And we're going to go in with that like fuchsia-y purple. And let's see, let's start over here. Ooh, that was pigmented. So I'm going to use that to clean that edge up and run it into here. Juvia's mattes usually are very pigmented, so you don't need a lot. Okay, I think that looks good so far. So I'm gonna go back into this purple shade and kind of work it a little bit more into the crease. Just to get a little bit more of that into the crease. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the fuchsia and run that all over here, and then probably use the purple right here on the outer corner, pretty much mimicking the top. I think that looks good. So now I'm going to take that deeper purple on the outer corner. Connect it up to the top. Alright, so I'm going to take that fluffy brush we were using in the crease and just kind of make sure the edges are blended out here. I didn't add any product onto the brush. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting some shimmers on the lid, of course, glitter primer, the usual. Alright, so that's looking good. So now I'm going to start with these shimmers. So I'm going to start with this darkest one right here. Using the same brush I laid the glitter primer. I'm going to use that on the part where it meets the matte. That is a very deep purple, almost looks like a black base to it. And I'm going to clean that off, and I'm going to go in with this shimmer right here and use that on the rest of the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. It's really pretty. There's definitely like somewhat of a shift to it. I think that looks really pretty. I'm digging that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this lavender-y purple in the palette as my inner corner highlight. It's the lightest shade. Now, I like to go in with a nice bright matte sometimes as an inner corner highlight. So let's see how that works. Ooh, I like that. It's not super brightening, but I think it does still give a brightening effect to the inner corner. I'm going to take the pressed glitter in the palette and just use that right in the center of the eyes. I did already lay down my glitter primer, and we're going to see. This one looks so pretty and like holographic shimmers in it. Oh, I can't wait. Let's see. This looks so pretty. Oh gosh, I hope it's picking up on camera. There's just like all these different little glitters in here, like rainbow glitters. That is so pretty. Alright, I think that glitter looks really pretty. So I'm going to go back in with that dark shimmer and just kind of work that on the edge here just to make sure it has a nice blend. And now I'm going to go back in with this blender brush with this matte purple and just work that on the outer part, just so everything looks like they're blending in really nicely to each other. Just get that, and then I'm not going to add any more to the brush. Okay, I think that looks beautiful. So now I'm going to go do some wing eyeliner, do something in the waterline, put some mascara on, and figure out something for my lip, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, here is the completed look, and I love it just as much as I loved look number one. For my lips, I went in with one of the Juvia's Place lipsticks in the shade Muted. It's a very cool toned brown, kind of like a grayish brown color. I thought it would look beautiful with this cool toned eye look that I have on. I also did use some lip liner. This is from Ace Beauty in the shade be peachy. And for the waterline, I went in with the ColourPop gel liner in the shade Loverboy. I decided to go in with a fuchsia shade to kind of make the fuchsia, purpley fuchsia, and the crease pop a little bit more, and I think it just paired beautiful with this look. I will try to link everything below that I used in both looks, as well as my face makeup. I'm trying to be better at like linking everything in case you guys are interested in any of the items. But that was it for this look, so now we're just going to wrap up with my final thoughts and then we'll be done here. Alright guys, so I just wanted to give you guys my overall thoughts. I think the products are all lovely and beautiful. Now of course, if you don't like pressed glitters, they're both in each palette, so I wouldn't recommend you picking them up if you hate those. But if you don't mind that being in the palette, I think these palettes are beautiful. The mattes work just fine. I didn't find any of them to be patchy. I felt like all the shades blended really well together, and I'm actually really impressed with the pressed glitters. They adhere to the eyes so well, and they have like a nice tacky base to them, so they work really well at just sticking and not causing any glitter fallout. I don't have like any glitter on my face, and I've had this on for some time now. As for the lip balm, it smells amazing. It's like delicious, and it did make my lips feel so nice and moisturized. I definitely want to pick up the other shades. I think they have ones that have a little bit more tint to them, and I just love a tinted lip balm, so I definitely recommend this if you're into moisturizing lip balms. Alright guys, that was my overall thoughts on all these products. I hope this video helped you decide whether you should pick these products up or not and give you enough information. I will have all the products linked below in case you're interested in picking up any of the items. I'll have the Juvia's Place links as well as the Ulta links. My contact information will be there as well. My Instagram handle, I'm at the Kirby Traveler. If you guys want to check me out on Instagram, I would love to see you guys over there. If you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up so I know to keep making these types of videos. And don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know if this video was helpful, if you guys want to see me review anything else. I just love hearing from all of y'all. And if you are new here and you like fashion, makeup, beauty, all that fun stuff, then hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And that was it. I hope everyone is doing well wherever you are in the world. Sending you love and light. But until next time, bye guys.